Hi, we're Leon and Tammy Gregory, doing our homework problem or thing for the second one. Um, Basically, we wanted to talk about our continual search for freedom was our biggest challenge over the last years. So, Leon, take us away.
Well, I guess it all started back in my Armway days. I was probably in my mid 20s, and 24, 25 when I first got involved with it, and it had built a pretty good team. Um, and I met Tammy, about 3 years into it or that, and at that time, my team was falling apart. It was, a matter of fact of trying to sell the products, buy the products, and we were all single. And it's, how much laundry detergent can a single person use in a month? And so it was, Tammy, like I say, joined me as I was trying to rebuild, and unfortunately, everything kind of fell apart. But it was always in the back of my mind that this was something I wanted. So, you continuing on with the rest of the story there? Or?
Yeah. So, like Leon said, he showed me the circles one night and drew them. I had no clue what it all meant, but I knew since Leon believed in it, I was going to believe in it. I always supported him. But then the team, we had a tough time, with it just like all the times the team just wasn't there. We were doing our best. And then we had our oldest son, who is 29 now. And we saw basically what we were doing is spending a lot of money on tapes. I think a lot of people made their money selling tapes and books to us. And we wanted to spend more time with their son. And it just, Leon got a job, and that was it. We walked away, but knew that uh, the idea was right. And in the back of our mind, for years, we thought that was a good concept, and we were just waiting to find the right company. So about 7, 8 years ago, um, Leon got laid off, and in the Milwaukee area, it was tough at the time. And what happened then, hon?
Well, I was determined. Well, first of all, when I left Amway, I was working when we met. Well, no, I wasn't working when we met. We've been married 31 years, and we were engaged 2 weeks after we met. So we kind of knew what was going on. We knew we were meant for each other. And but like Tammy said, I was working, and I was working for a company where I was working a ton of hours. You know, and when they let me go in that, I made a decision then. Because it was my first time with being in politics within the workplace, and that summer I got to spend with my boys, and I really got to know them, and I made a decision then that family came first before any other job I ever took. Um, but it was always in the back of my mind. I always had this vision that I was going to retire by the time before I was 60 or by the time I was 60, and so when I got laid off the last time in that, I started looking again online. Found a couple companies, did some work with them, found out that all they were after was my money, and they provided no help, no guidance. They sent you a book and you read the book and he's like, well, what the heck am I doing now? You know, but then I finally got a phone call and with another company in that, and believe it or not, we were selling an empty box, and they sold pretty good. And so we got involved with that because we thought, well, this is we were building online, we were making phone calls, and it was a lot easier for me to make phone calls when I first started, and made a ton of phone calls. Tammy helped me with phone calls as we were moving on with the business, and the only thing that was kind of disheartening is you build a group, build a group, build a group, and then they were big enough that they broke away from you, and then you started from scratch again. And I think my biggest paycheck during that whole time was $1,000 for 1 month, and and that was the only $1,000 check we ever seen from them. And but they were happy to take our money for leads. We always believed in attending. I mean, we always listened to what we were told to do. We attended everything. You know, we attended all the meetings, we attended all the conferences, we did what we were supposed to do. And so, I don't know, do you got anything you want to add to that, hon?
Yeah, I think the big thing when we were in that company, the big change for us was the first conference we went to. Like Leanne said, he was off work, and at the time we decided he's not going back to the machine shop again. We're gonna do this, but with only one income, my hours just I said I had the ability to work more hours, and I was supporting the family then, and that was stressful. So the first conference that came around, I knew we should be at events, but mine was the only paycheck and to take off work to go to an event. But so Leon went to the event, and unknown to him, I had planned to be there anyways. So instead of taking, events started on Thursday, I didn't take off and I worked with his sponsor, and I flew down there by myself. First time I ever flew alone, and surprised him. And he had happened to leave his wedding ring at home. And so when his sponsor called him and said, "Hey, Leon, come down to the lobby of the hotel," I was standing in the hallway there and met him with his wedding ring and asked him if he'd marry me again.
Good thing she did, because it was a cheerleader weekend that weekend.
So anyways, being at the event, though, was when I decided, that I was all in. And that's when we started making phone calls together, and that was a big change for us. But my income only covered the bills. So that's when we started piling up a lot of credit card debt. And a lot. And after a few years, we ran out of credit cards. We were in debt. Our 401ks were gone. We used all that money up. And still, we were making wussy commissions. Let's put it that way. And that's when the company that we were with decided that we couldn't build a business online anymore. They wanted us to go back to home meetings. And from our Armway days, we didn't want to do home meetings. There was just no way we were going to go back to that.
No, I drew enough circles in that, and I'd like to say one thing. While we were making these phone calls and doing all this, I got hit with Bell's palsy, which, kind of, the whole right side of my face had dropped, and and I couldn't talk very well. But I tell you, that was my highest recruiting months, and that is when I couldn't talk, and then I had more people join my team then. So I don't know what that tells you. Maybe I'd be better off not talking.
So anywho, the next company, one of the leaders that we were with at the time didn't believe in home meetings either, because he knew that as the leader of this huge team, that he was going to be flying all over. We were spread across the country, across the world. Our sponsor was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
We're in Wisconsin. Our leader was in Texas. It's like, seriously, we're not doing this again. And he went out and actually started with somebody else, another company, and I'll give that part to you.
Yeah, it was dealing with financial services. It was like, what do you want to say? The Sam's Club of financial services. Everything under one roof, and and I thought it was a pretty good idea, and and I believed in this gentleman, and and I would join him. There was no doubt in my mind that I was going to join him.
But in my mind, one of the first questions I had, one of their biggest products was helping people manage their money and help them pay their bills and stuff like that. And I said, so, in our financial situation, and I'm sure a lot of people at the time, I know a lot of people at the time didn't even have enough money to pay their bills. So how do you offer a service of paying the bills when you didn't have the money to pay the bills? Who was going to, it just didn't make, so this is one company of all the years that we've been together that I support Leon and whatever he wanted to do, but I didn't believe in the company this time.
Which made it a little tough on me, because I'm, we haven't survived 31 years of marriage without doing things together. So it was tough, but I kept plugging along, and I wasn't seeing anything happening. And I was starting to get frustrated. I started, making excuses for not doing my phone calls because, well, basically we couldn't afford, I mean, the leads were cheap, but we couldn't afford them.
Oh, at that time,
I wasn't working. Tammy was putting in a ton of hours just trying to keep our house and everything. That was, we were close to losing our house a couple times. Um, and we were not doing well financially. Now, did that feed into, sometimes they say is what your situation is. Sometimes that's what ends up happening. But we've always had a positive mindset. We've always believed, God is big in our life, and you can continue on.
well, that's when we started to struggle financially, and both of us were frustrated because I thought I had given Leon the opportunity to, build a business. I believe in Leon. I believe that when he puts his mind to something, it's going to get done. We weren't quitters, but we were at a point where, like Leon said, we were a few times without the help of family. We weren't able to make mortgage payments, and the credit card debt was so high, and I felt like I had let Leon down. That I hadn't. I told him I would be the one supporting the family until things took off, but and I just wasn't able to, and that's when Leon decided it. We both decided he had to go back to work. Which after 5 years or whatever he was off work,
Yeah.
both of us were. That was a low point for us when we realized that we couldn't make it on my paycheck to pay off all that we had gone into debt to start, a business and buy leads and stuff like that. It was time he would go back to work, but we didn't give up. We didn't quit. Leon stayed with the company, and then one day the leader of that company again came back to us with, this time, Empower Network.
Yeah, and and I've kind of been the one that's made most of the decisions on this stuff. I was the first one, to see Amway. I was the first one to see our other company. I was the first one, with the financial. And when it came to Empower Network, I was the first one to see the video on that too. And I made the decision on the spot that this is where we wanted to be. I really like the honesty of Dave and Dave. They really hit a nerve. And then I had Tammy watch the video.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw it, I was all in. I mean, like Leon said, you could tell, you could tell who Dave is by just listening to him. And the big thing that excited me, and I was excited, I'm still excited, and having fun, is that affiliate marketing. I've been looking at that for years, several years. On my part of my job at my job is computers, and I knew that the money was online, and affiliate marketing was part of it. So when he came and said, well, I don't know what this is. It's something called affiliate marketing. And I said, well, I know what that is, and I know we can do that. So we joined, and we jumped in fee first. Within a day, we had been through Fast Start. We started blogging.
Yeah, as soon as Dave said go write a blog, we went and wrote a blog.
Yeah.
And that was kind of scary because I'm not, I never thought of myself as a writer, believe me, but I'm having a ton of fun writing blogs, and I'm finding that I write some darn good ones.
Yes, he does. It was our glimpse of hope again. After years of struggling, trying to build an online business, after years of living what we thought, from going from Armway to what everybody tells you, that you're supposed to do. Get a good job, you work for 30 years, and you're going to be able to retire. Well, after those, years of Leon working, and all of a sudden he's out of a job, there started one, before we even spent the money on a business, we were into Leon's 401k to just pay our bills. So, and
help our kids go through college.
Yeah, I mean,
because we made too much money that, well, the government was no help to us because we made too much money. So they, it was either they get student loans or we help them out, and
Yeah. All of a
So,
sudden, we're in our 50s thinking we had done the right thing for 30 years of working our jobs, putting the money away, and we weren't seeing it happening. So, and then go online and then, spend all that money and not, before we were at the end. So, but the big difference to us with Empower was the challenges that we've seen in the past with building a team. The WUSI commissions, when we did build a team, it is the difference though is that we're not being told what to do. We're not being told we have to have a specific script. They give you the outline, the 8 core steps. We make sure we follow those on a daily basis, but we're being taught, and in our minds, from day one, the $25 you pay a month, the $19.95 in the affiliate fee, that money, what we sold in the past was something that you used. We sold soap, we sold this, we sold that. The education we're getting is never going away. That's ours forever. And the value of that, the people that we're with, the community, we know that it's not a matter of building a team and watching it fall away. The security and knowing that my education here, I can start marketing anything I want online, and all that we've learned, we're having fun at the same time,
and we're doing it together.
So
we both blog. If you read our blogs, you can tell who writes what. That's for sure.
We've been married so long that you do a lot without you find out the other person's thinking. The same thing you do, but on the other hand, we are so different, and one of the big differences is that Lan's a night guy and I'm a morning person, so I blog every morning and he blogs every night, so it's been fun.
Yeah, great time to be with my best partner.
Yes. So that's our story, and we'll talk to you later.
Have a great day.